What can I do to stop lanternflies? What grass seed do you recommend for really dense shade? And what is going on with my knockout roses? Folks, I've got answers to these questions and more coming up on Garden Sense. Hey everyone, I'm Tim Ward and welcome back to Garden Sense. Well, folks, I hope that everyone had a really wonderful day on Monday celebrating Memorial Day, where we remember all of those men and women who have lost their lives protecting this great nation. So I hope you were able to spend some time with your friends and family this past weekend, and hopefully you took a little bit of time to think about and appreciate the sacrifices that a lot of these soldiers have made for us. Well, folks, we had some emails come in over the weekend, not as many as usual, but that's frankly pretty common anytime we have a 3-day weekend due to a holiday. So we actually selected 4 questions that we are going to work with here today. So buckle up, everybody. Let's jump right in. The first question is from Pat. Tim, I have an area about 12 feet by 24 feet where the sun never shines. Any suggestion on grass seed? So when it comes to shaded areas of your lawn, we really recommend Black Beauty Dense Shade by Jonathan Green. This is a high quality seed, and just as the name suggests, it's really good in areas where there is little to no sunlight throughout the day. Now, we don't currently sell it over at rosensonline.com, but it's a very popular product and it's very easy to find online. So again, we recommend Black Beauty Dense Shade. It works really, really well. It's a high quality seed, and that's absolutely what we would recommend for an application like you're describing. The next question is from Clara. Tim, my neighborhood is being invaded with lanternflies. So far, I have only found 2 in my garden, but I know they are coming. What can be done to stop them? Or once they've invaded, how can they be destroyed? So lanternflies are very resilient and difficult to kill, but not impossible. So frankly, any insecticide that has bifenthrin in it or imidacloprid is going to be effective against lanternflies. Now, the products that we recommend are actually going to be BioAdvanced 3-in-1, and you can also try Monterey's Mite and Insect Control. Both of these products are going to be effective at helping prevent them, in terms of keeping them off of your shrubs, your trees, out of your garden. However, if you're already having issues with them, they're actually going to help kill and control them as well. Specifically, when I say control, is the eggs. Oftentimes, where people don't realize is that you see a couple of lanternflies, they've already laid the eggs then hatch, and now you have this infestation. So we want to try and avoid that. So you can use BioAdvanced 3-in-1, you can use Monterey's Mite and Insect Control. Both are available over at Rosens Online, and I would put them down all over your trees, your shrubs in your garden as quickly as possible to help mitigate the damage that the lanternflies can cause. The third question is from Richard. Tim, how can I eradicate wild strawberry in my lawn? All right, now I've actually addressed this question before on these videos, but the reason I selected it again is because I actually received a number of emails last week concerning wild strawberries, and my guess is that's because some of you have probably tried to use Image All-in-One Weed Killer for the strawberries because, again, Image All-in-One Weed Killer seems like it's going to kill everything. Well, believe it or not, it is not effective against wild strawberries, and we don't recommend it. To kill wild strawberries, we actually recommend a product by Fertilome called Weed Free Zone. You can find it over at rosensonline.com. It's going to kill a bunch of the same weeds, broadleaf weeds, I should say, as Image All-in-One, but the big difference is wild strawberries. It's very effective against wild strawberries, and that's actually what we recommend. So head over to rosensonline.com and pick up a bottle of Weed Free Zone. It's going to really help you control those wild strawberries. I will caution you that you're probably going to need more than one application because wild strawberries are very resilient weeds and they grow very, very quickly. So don't think that one application is all of a sudden going to eradicate everything. Plan on 2, maybe 3 applications over the course of the summer and into the fall. But again, it's a very effective product at controlling and killing wild strawberry. The last question for today is from Sarah. Tim, my knockout rose was looking so lovely, but obviously no longer. I'm hoping there is something I can do to save it. Can you tell me what to do to treat it? All right, thanks for sending in the picture. I've got to be honest with you, it's not looking good because my concern is that this is verticillium wilt and it's deadly to plants. So in terms of an action plan, this is actually what I'd recommend that you do right now. The first thing I would do is I would prune off any of the leaves, any of the stems that look like they're dead or dying, or in this case, infected with this wilt. So yes, it's going to drastically change the way your knockout roses look. The good news is knockout roses are very, very resilient and hardy plants. So I think if you follow these steps, we might be able to save it. Again, if it's verticillium wilt, the odds aren't great, but there are a couple of other wilt diseases that can impact knockout roses. So if it's one of those, this plan should work. So after you've pruned everything off, and again, I realize that that beautiful knockout rose is going to look a lot different now in terms of its shape and its beauty. You want to put down complete disease control immediately. So get that down on the plant, and that should help control or kill some of the disease and the pathogens that are actually in the soil or are have already been taken up by the root system of the rose bush. Then what I would do is I'd make sure that you'd put down Kickstart right away, and I would give it a healthy dose of Kickstart once a week for the next month. Again, we're really trying to strengthen that root system to help it fight this disease. The last step I would do is actually put down Garden Trust. Garden Trust, again, is a fertilizer that's going to really be absorbed well by your knockout rose bush. It responds very well to Garden Trust. So feeding it a good dose of Garden Trust fertilizer, making sure that you're using Kickstart on it regularly for the next month, and then again, putting down that complete disease control should help cure the plant long term. Again, I realize for the rest of the year, it's not going to be real pretty, but we want to think about next spring and trying to help this rose bush survive. Again, if it's verticillium wilt, there's a very good chance that it's not going to survive, but pruning it off, using that complete disease control, using Kickstart, using Garden Trust. If your rose bush can't come back after doing all that, unfortunately, there's nothing else that we're going to be able to do. So good luck, and please let us know how it turns out. All right, everybody, just a couple final thoughts before we wrap up this week's video podcast. Folks, I want to remind you that right now, over at rosensonline.com, we have our annual summer stock up sale. Folks, this is the best price that you're going to find on Turf Trust fertilizers all season long. They are 3-bag combos. Again, they come in the 10M or the 5M sizes. It can be for the maintenance lawn fertilizer or the professional starter formula. Both are great products. So head over to rosensonline.com right now. You're going to save on the cost of the product and you're going to get free shipping. I've been getting a lot of emails from folks over the last month or so about when this sale was going to start. We kicked it off last week. So again, make sure you head over to rosensonline.com right now and take advantage. Folks, I also want to remind you that as the weather really starts to warm up, the weekly to monthly use of Kickstart for your lawns, for your gardens is going to be really, really important. Again, Kickstart is really designed to enhance the effects of your fertilizers that you're putting down. It works with any fertilizers, but obviously we highly recommend Turf Trust fertilizers. We recommend Garden Trust. We recommend Plant Trust, but it's going to really work with any type of fertilizer. And at the end of the day, what Kickstart does is strengthen the roots of any plant. So make sure you get it down regularly, especially as we are going to head into those really hot summer months. A strong root system is going to help keep any plant healthy. Folks, I also want to remind you that you can continue to send all your questions directly to me, Tim, at rosensonline.com, and give us about 48 hours to get back to you. Again, it was a little slow the last couple of days, but again, with the holiday weekend, that's not surprising. I'm guessing that a number of you were working outside on Memorial Day, so my guess is that I'm going to be getting a lot of questions from you this coming week. Folks, as always, we really appreciate the time that you spend with us each and every week. I hope that you had a wonderful Memorial Day, and I hope that the rest of your week is amazing too. God bless.